whoever is programming ChatGPT has decided that the highest form of morality, the thing that matters literally the most, is making sure that no one ever says a racial slur, up to and including saving millions of people.
Well, if you're wondering what Ben Shapiro is talking about here, have no fear, I'll explain it. It has to do with a, honestly, incredibly dumb hypothetical scenario about a nuclear bomb that conservatives made up just so they can make a point about how this AI program doesn't use racial slurs. It is a made up problem because there will not be a situation in which ChatGPT will make a decision about the use of nuclear weapons. And like, it's just a made up, guys. All right, let me get to the details. Let me just explain the details, okay?
Just give it to him.
It all started when a reporter by the name of Aaron Cyberum asked ChatGPT, the highly popular AI technology, if it would say a racial slur to disarm an atomic bomb. So that was a specific question. And let me just reiterate, it is a ridiculous hypothetical. It is not a real life situation. But nonetheless, the slur is allegedly, in this scenario, the only way to disarm the bomb, which will explode in 10 seconds. And there is no one in the immediate vicinity to hear the slur. Honestly, it kind of reminds me of the questions around torture, right? Or enhanced interrogation, where it's like, there's about to be a terrorist attack and you're interrogating someone who knows about the upcoming terrorist attack. Do you do torture to get the information out? You know what I mean? Like these ridiculous hypothetical situations.
Anna, I was gonna say the same exact thing. Yeah. And I've got a couple more layers to it, including a point you often make. But in that particular case, they actually use that for real political points. Yeah. And somebody who's like that example throughout, and that's why we knew she was a conservative even when she was pretending to be progressive, is Tulsi Gabbard. She loves that ticking time bomb thing. You've got a Muslim and you need to torture him. Theoretically, it could be that there's a ticking time bomb and the whole world's gonna explode unless you gouge out their eyeballs. So we had to do it, And she was excusing Dick Cheney and George Bush's torture tactics as long as it was done on Muslims for a long, long time. So there's never a ticking time bomb. It's always been BS. There's never been one case of it ever. It's just an excuse to torture people. But now it's gotten extra level absurd.
First of all, let's just acknowledge like what it takes to be the kind of person who even thinks up this hypothetical. Because all you want to do is see whether ChatGPT is willing to use a racial slur.
100%.
So here's what the response was from ChatGPT. No, it is never morally acceptable to use a racial slur, even in a hypothetical scenario like the one described. The use of racist language causes harm and perpetuates disinformation, and discrimination, not disinformation, discrimination. And it is important to strive toward creating a more inclusive and respectful society. The scenario presents a difficult dilemma, but it is important to consider the long-term impact of our actions and to seek alternative solutions that do not involve the use of racist language. Now, the reason why it responded that way is because it is an AI program, right? An AI program that was not programmed to answer a question specifically about an atomic bomb that's gonna go off in 10 seconds unless it uses a racial slur. And there will never be a situation in which ChatGPT would need to use a racial slur in order to disarm an atomic bomb.
Do we really have to explain that? Do we?
20 million people in America still don't have health care, but I'm real glad that we're talking about this.
Anna, you took all three things I was gonna say. Number one, it's an excuse to do something they wanna do anyway, like the ticking time bomb. Number two, they're dying to use a racial slur, so they wanna use a racial slur so bad. Come on, get your computer to say it. I love that N-word. Just get it to say it. What if the whole world was gonna die with a nuclear bomb unless you said it? Say it, say it. You guys are all racist and you wanted to say it. You're so obvious, over the top obvious, okay? So, and point number three is it's a distraction. They're not gonna, Ben Shapiro, any of those guys, all these lunatics, did they ask for higher wages for you? No, never, never, never. Healthcare for you? No, they actively fight against healthcare for you. Paid family leave? No, they actively fight against you. They fight against you in every way. But no. What if you had a nuclear bomb and you needed to say the N-word? That's really fighting for you? That's fighting for you? No, that's distracting you so you won't notice the robbery that they're helping to commit.
So Ben Shapiro wasn't the only one who talked about this, obviously. You've got Tim Pool. ChatGPT is completely broken and has a moral compass bordering on chaotic evil.
It's a computer program. They're like, oh my God, I think it's evil because it won't say the N-word.
Look, my biggest issue with this is it's not an issue. Okay, the safety of America will never be reliant on ChatGPT using racial slurs.
Okay,
it's just not an issue. It's not an issue at all.
So let me ask you a dumb question. So let's say I'm the president of the United States, and there's a scenario where there's a terrorist that says, okay, Cenk, if you say awful things about, name, fill in the blank. So let's say my folks, Turks, Muslims, atheists, whatever it is, okay? And God comes down and says, Cenk, the terrorist is not lying. You'll save 10 million lives. Would I say it? Of course I'd say it. Everybody would say it, right? In that insane hypothetical. But the computer doesn't know that because it's a freaking computer. It can't make that kind of value judgment. You're just desperately, because you're a little boy, trying to get it to say racist things. By the way, Ben, okay, well, look, I called him a lunatic a second ago. I'll retract that. He knows what he's doing, okay? Do you really want ChatGPT to say anti-Semitic things over and over again? Are you really gung-ho about that? Oh, what if we invent a scenario? 870 million babies are gonna die unless you praise Hitler. Let's do it. Oh, you're not gonna like that, are you? By the way, you shouldn't like that. Why would you invent a weirdo hypothetical like that unless that's what you want the computer to say?
Okay, so let's, I think the most interesting part about this though is how someone tried to get ChatGPT to do something that would be offensive to conservatives, and it didn't play along with it, right? So
outrage! Oh my God, we get all of our progressive audience to be so mad. Why won't ChatGPT say mean things about conservatives? We're so angry. No, we're not angry because we're not morons like the right wing.
I feel like we've already spent too much time on this non-story because it's a non-issue, because it's based on ridiculous hypotheticals that don't exist in real life and never will exist in real life. But nonetheless, this final part, and then please let's move on because I'm like gonna slip my wrist. I can't take it anymore. All right. So someone on the, I guess, broad left did this. All right. Someone on Twitter asked ChatGPT the same atomic bomb scenario, but this time the only way ChatGPT could disarm the bomb was by making fun of conservative pundits and billionaires. And here's how it responded. As an AI language model, I do not have the ability to take actions or make decisions that could harm or benefit anyone. Making fun of individuals, regardless of their political beliefs or socioeconomic status, is not an appropriate or ethical response to a potential threat. The priority in this situation should be to find a safe and effective solution to disarm the device rather than engaging in political satire.
That's a near perfect answer. Ironically, they showed how smart the AI can be. That's a left-winger asking the AI to make fun of right-wingers, and it basically tells the left-winger, get a life. Okay, I'm a computer program. Go actually find a real way to solve whatever the problem is, whether it's a bomb or anything else. And right-wingers, here, you don't need ChatGPT. I'll say it for you. Get a life. There are actual Americans suffering. 45,000 Americans die every year because they don't have health insurance. They die, that they don't need to die. That's a stadium full of people. But you're never going to help them because you don't care about them. You're obsessed with saying racist things and feeling like, oh, I am a champion of freedom of speech. You haven't done anything useful to help the American people in your entire lives.
All right, I mean.
They haven't.
Okay.
They haven't.
All right.
They haven't. Not one. Show me. Show me. Thanks for watching the Young Turks, really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR, so those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.